Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Sarah Ann. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. You the best. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. You can be awesome like Sarah. Woo! Alright, so let's talk about what's going on in the house because we've got some big news here. There's a lot happening. Come on, puppy, you're late. So they had the Power Veto competition yesterday, and the players were Nick, Maddie, and Ramsey, and 3 extras, Tim, Nikki, and Kelsey. So this was some sort of timed competition. I think it was like one of those ones where you have to figure out what's different in 2 photos or whatever. One of those things. So Ramsey won the Power Veto. Apparently Maddie was very close behind, and Ramsey also won $5,000. So that's pretty sweet. Nice. But now the big question is who's going to be the replacement nominee? Because, of course, like, Ramsey's going to use the veto on himself. Duh. So the brothers are trying to figure this out. They're like, obviously, we want to put up, well, I guess it's not obvious, but they want to put up a pawn and just get rid of Maddie like they had planned originally. So they're like, should it be Tim or Nikki? And Phil's like, let's put up Nikki. And Nick is like, done. Usually it's like Phil says something and Nick goes, done. Alright, so then Maddie and Ramsey are chatting with Phil, and later on Nick joins in the high roller room as well. So Maddie's telling Phil, I feel like chopped liver right now. She thinks it's great that everybody likes Ramsey so much, especially the brothers. She's like, it's wonderful. I love him too. He's great. But it's like everybody's happy that she's the one that's going home this week. I gotta say, it must suck for, like, the whole house to be like, oh, we don't want you up on the block, we don't want you up on the block, you're not going home, and then you're, like, the other person up on the block. That's so awkward. So I feel for her on that, but she's like, yeah, it really sucks for me, like, I want to be treated with respect, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, okay, we really respect you, whatever. Moving on. We're not going to stop saying that we don't want Ramsey to go. Moving on. The conversation moves to the replacement nominee. Maddie and Ramsey are really pushing for Jared to go up. Of course, Maddie sees that as, like, her best shot at staying in the game. So they're like, why don't you put up the other big target in the house and let the house decide who should go? It only makes sense. It's fair. So Phil's like, no, we can't do that. What if Jared stays and then comes after us next? Like, it's so risky. He's going to be pissing off 2 sides of the house. It's just not good. So they keep pushing for it. They keep coming up with all these reasons to do it. And the brothers are just like, we have to put up a pawn. We cannot put up Jared. So eventually Maddie's like, fine, just don't make my last few days a living hell. I want to have fun. Alright, so then Maddie was talking to Cass in the pink bedroom, and she must have said about 50 times, I don't want people to think that I'm upset because I'm up on the effing block. That's not why I'm upset. She said the reason she's upset is because of the way that people are treating her. It's like she was saying to Phil earlier. She wants respect. She doesn't want people being like, you're going home, blah. She keeps bringing up Kelsey being mean to her. The comment that she made the other day, like, it's not so fun being up on the block, is it? So she will not let that go. But then Maddie is telling Cass how she wants to mess up other people's games on the way out. She wants to create havoc. So she's like, the brothers told me that I cannot trust Tim and Nikki. They do not have my back like I think they do. So Maddie is planning on confronting Tim, and if she doesn't hear what she wants to hear, she's going to call in the brothers and, you know, see who's telling the truth and whatnot. So then Tim and Ramsey were chatting, and Ramsey kind of addresses this situation with Tim. He brings up how the brothers were saying that people are lying to them, and they kind of implied that it was Nikki and Tim. So Ramsey's like, I don't believe that. I think you genuinely want both of us to stay. He feels like Tim was in an awkward situation out by the hot tub that time when Kelsey and Jared were like, Tim, talk to Phil and tell him to keep us, or whatever. So I have to agree, though. It's kind of, I don't know, I feel like people were strong-armed this week, in a way. I don't know. So, oh, my mouth is so dry. So then Ramsey is like, yeah, I think you're telling the truth. I don't think you want us out. I think you were in an awkward situation and it happened. So then Ramsey was asking Tim if Nikki told the brothers to put up Maddie and Ramsey, and Tim is like, no, she did not, and neither did I. So he's explaining the plan that he presented to the brothers earlier in the week about putting him up as a pawn with one of the big targets, and then if that person comes down, put up the other big target, which is a plan that he did present to the brothers. So Ramsey's like, oh yeah, okay, I believe you. Alright, this is where things get pretty crazy. So Tim was out by the pool while he was talking to Ramsey, so then Phil comes out there, he's talking to Tim, and like I said just a minute ago, Tim presented that plan to the brothers to be a pawn against one of the two big targets. So then Phil's got this like already in his mind, and he's thinking like maybe Tim could be the pawn, I don't know. So Tim is like, the biggest move this week would be to put up Jared as the replacement nominee. So Phil's just like, wait a minute, we already made a big move by putting Maddie and Ramsey on the block. Like, I don't think we need to prove ourselves anymore. Like, we're messing stuff up. So then Phil is like, that would be the dumbest thing ever. I'd be pissing off both sides. It's not good. So Phil seems to be getting, like, really annoyed and heated at this point. You know how he reacts when anyone questions him. He's just like, what do you mean? Blah, blah, blah. So he's, like, freaking out a little bit. Tim is like, just think about it for a day. Just relax. Like, nobody's saying you have to make a decision right now. Right now. So then Phil goes up to the HOH room and he's talking to Nick. And he tells Nick all about the conversation he just had with Tim. He's like, well, we can't trust Tim anymore. He's like coming up with this new thing out of nowhere. It's not okay. So Nick is like, I've been telling you for a really long time that we can't trust Tim. So then the brothers are talking more and more about Tim, and they're like, you know what? Tim's going to be our next target after Maddie. We need to get rid of him. But this week, we put up Nikki as a replacement nominee, stay the course, and get rid of Maddie. So then they keep talking about they keep talking about Tim, and they're like, let's call a house meeting tomorrow and expose Tim to the rest of the house. So they want to talk about how Tim offered himself up as a pawn, but then he was all like, put up Jared, and he's like changing his story and all that. So they think that this is really gonna gain the respect of the rest of the house, and they're all about it. So then, even after that, okay, this happened after they were like, let's call that house meeting. Phil the genius is like, hey, I just had a great idea. It was a real Jimmy Neutron brain blast. He was like, let's put up Tim as the replacement this week and get rid of him instead of Maddie. So he's thinking through it. He's like, yeah, we'll have Maddie in the house, but she'll be grateful because we saved her. We'll still be cool with her. We'll be cool with Ramsey. We'll be cool with Jared. And we'll get Tim out of here. It's a big-ass move. So they're thinking about it more and more, and then they agree that this is what they want to do. They want to get rid of Tim this week. All right, so this morning, the feeds went down just before 7 a.m., We did hear yesterday that there was something going on with Ramsey, some sort of family emergency, but we didn't know what it was at the time. But he actually left the house this morning. That's why the feeds went down, to go be with his family. And we found out a little bit before 5 p.m. when the feeds came back that he actually left the game for good to be with his family because his father's ill, he needs surgery. So it's so sad. First of all, I want to say, get well soon to his father. I hope everything's going to be okay. That's so sad. And our hearts really go out to him. Also, just on a game level, that sucks to see someone get removed from the game for something, you know, outside of their control. It really sucks. But anyway, yeah, Ramsey's out of the game now. That's crazy. So everyone was sad to see Ramsey go, especially in this way. So then the bros were chatting up in the HOH room, and they're still planning on putting Tim up next to Maddie. I don't know what happened in the house while the feeds were down all day today. It sounds like they did not call him out yet. I don't know if they're still going to do that or if they're going to chicken out. But I don't even know what's going to happen this week game-wise. Are they still going to get rid of someone? I guess if they wanted to keep going with this week, Ramsay would have used the power veto on himself anyway, so they would have to pick somebody to go up in his place. I don't know. It's crazy. Hopefully I'll have some answers for you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be the power veto ceremony, but we'll see. I really don't know what's going to happen, so we'll see. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.